guitar buddies, some classic AC/DC for Halloween, Hell's Bells. So I'm starting with... So we've got this riff, it plays on the intro, picks up a little speed, it's also the riff for the chorus. Okay, so on the intro, I'm just going round and round on... We're playing open A, then an E to an A. So essentially we've got an A5 chord. A, and E. So I'm playing the A string, the G string on 9, and the D string on 7. Then I'm taking my finger off 9 to get 7 and 7 on the G and D strings. Back to the A string. Moving that down to 5 and 5. So 5, 5, open. C, G, open. So, yeah, so far. Back to 7 and 7. And 2 on the A. And that A just goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So it just comes a little bit before the beat on the half beat. So that's the same again. So you've got that start again. And then you just play the D, so you're going 5, 5, open, 7 on the G string. And then you've got, okay, you're playing a C, 5, so you've got C and G on 3 and 5. And a G over B, so you've got 2 and 5. And the open A string. Yeah, so you've got also. Okay, and so on the intro it just repeats, going around that, going round and round. Then there's a change that leads us into the verse. We've got... Okay, so I'm starting just the same. So that... Just the same as we've started each time. And after that open A, I'm playing a classic AC/DC chord, a G5. Okay, so I'm playing a 3, the A string's muted. We've got D, G, D, G. So open D, open G, 3 and 3. To a D, and then that riff again. So. Okay, and that leads us into the verse riff, which is, we've got a couple of bars of this. Okay, so what I'm playing there is same basic shape as we start with, but this time we're hitting the open A. And obviously there's 2 guitars on this, there's Malcolm and Angus. Malcolm's more chugging away down here, which we'll come to later. But I'm playing open A, then 7 and 9, 7 and 7, back to 7 and 9. So A and E, A and D, A and E. Then I'm playing the A and D on 7 and 7 on the D and G strings. Down to G and C on 5 and 5. Back to D and A. So 7, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7. So you've got... Then catch the open A again. And then that familiar C to G over B again. And again. Yeah, so... Okay, and then we're into the verse. So essentially I'm playing the same thing for the verse, but I'm playing... Okay, I'm playing a more muted version, and so instead of... I'm just playing the open A string, 2 open and 2 on D. I can catch the A as well, that works. But just really kind of using a bit of palm muting there. Then going up to a D. I'm playing... Okay, you got the D note on 5 on the A string, and then again you got 7 7 5 5 7 7. And what I'm doing here is adding a little bit of palm muted rhythm and a little stab on the D chord. So I've got then so we've got back to that. Okay, back to that C and the G over B. So we've got 4 times. Yeah, with a bit of palm muting. So next we're going to a D, and I'm playing basically just the D and G and B strings really, and then just taking my finger off, so you've got G over D, just taking my second finger off that G string, so I've got, so that's all. Then a C5, so I'm just playing C, G, C, the A string, the G string, and the B string, and using my fingers to mute the other strings to that G5 again. So okay, and then I'm going playing it there. So I'm playing open E string, then an E5 chord on 7 9 9, then playing A and D on 7 7. So I've got, so just taking my fingers off there to get those 2 notes. Then D to A. So then again that E again. And a G5. Okay, and that's leading you back into the chorus. Just like we played before. Okay, so there's another variation there on the guitar riff, on the guitar solo. We've got, so just playing a couple of, after that second chorus, just hitting a couple of A chords, sustained, and then so I'm playing an A, then a G, just a G note with a little push on the 3rd fret of the E string, and then that C5 to D. And then you play that pre-chorus section again, just like before. Yeah. Okay, taking out a guitar solo, back into a repeat of the chorus and verse, and there's a slight change towards the end. We're just doing the chorus, and the last couple of times before we go back into a little outro section, which is played over that kind of guitar riff chords, we've got So we've got a couple of times where we play that riff and then go to that C5 and D, which you'll see on the playthrough, and then we're back into, okay, to the end, and then a C5 and a D, and then that boom, boom, boom again to finish. Okay, so that's the rhythm part. Next we'll take a look at the solos. For the solo, I'm starting with a couple of little licks before we get really into the solo. I'm playing... Okay, so I'm playing a D and a G. I'm playing 7 and 8 on the G and B strings. And then a bend and release on 7 and 7. So, to 5 and 5, C and E. Back to 7 and 7. A little pull again on 5 and 5, so... Then hitting that A, little hammer from 5 to 7 on the D string. And then a little 5 and 5, E and A, with the B and E strings. And that bend again. So just pulling down on 7 and 7 on the G and B strings. That D and F sharp. So... And then just kind of slowly pulling it up, leading into the solo. So, okay. And then we're into the solo. We're starting with. Okay, great stuff. It's basically based mainly around the A blues scale with some additional notes. So I'm playing G to A. Then a hammer from F sharp to G. So 5 to 7, 4 to 5 on the D string. Then I'm doing a hammer, pull, E, F sharp, E, open D, C to open A, so 2, 4, 2, open, 3, little pull, open A, then an A on the G string, and then sliding up to the A, this time on 7 on the D string, where we began. Okay, and then we got... Basically, we're playing this next section. You don't have to get it exactly precisely, but the next section is all around bending that E, that D to E, 7 up to 9 on the G string, and hitting that G note on 8. Classic kind of bluesy. And then we're just, again, classic kind of blues. He's playing around these double stops that we've already played on 5 and 5 and 7 and 7, and incorporating that A note on 7 on the D string. That kind of stuff. Next we're playing some double stops. So that's E and G, all on the G and B strings. So I'm playing 9 and 8 to 7 and 7. Back to 9 and 8, so E and G, D and F sharp, E and G. Moving up 2 frets to 11 and 10 for F sharp and A. And then we've got... So a little classic little section, very Angus Young. just bending that G and doing a hammer and pull off on A and C. So bending up on 12 on the G string and then hitting 10, hammer and pull off on 13. Okay, there we go. Then we're moving up to a little double stop on C and E, on 17 and 17, and then bending a C to a D, whilst also playing a D. So I'm bending 17 on the G string whilst playing 15 on the B string. So okay, and then we've got so I'm playing. So we're onto the D chord now. So I'm playing. So I'm playing it around these notes. So I've got a bend from C to D. So I'm bending 13 on the B string, I'm releasing 12 and then 14 on the D string. And then 14 again on the G string. And then just hitting these notes again, C and A on 13 and 14, finishing on 15 on back to the D. And then I've got and so the classic country-ish bend of bending an E up on 17 on the B string, and also hitting the A on 17 on the E string. And then playing the E, the D, B, E and D. Okay, so that's the 15 and 17 and 16 on the B string. Again, don't have to play this exactly, any kind of whatever works for you. It's more about learning the kind of shapes and the notes and then putting your own interpretation on it. Okay, and then we're going to the E chord. So we're just shifting those 2 frets down to bending up on 15 and hitting the 15 on the E string, so bending on the B string again. So it's just like we did before. Now, and then just hitting that E again as a single note on 15 on the B string. So, and then we've got this nice little lick, which is, I'll play it slowly. So that's it. So we're coming down A, G, E. So we've got 17, 15, 17, and then we're bending a D, on 17 and release, pulling off to a C sharp on 14, and then hitting an A on 14 on the G string, and then going back to that D, play those 3 notes again, D, C sharp, A, down to G, and then you got to move up the neck again to bend a G all the way up on 20. So slowly. Yeah. Great stuff there from Angus Young. And then we're just basically playing around the A blues scale shape, but all the way up now on the 17th position. So we're just kind of so the notes I'm playing are bending up on 20, playing So we've got 17 and 20 coming down, that kind of thing. Then bending up on C, all the way up on 20 on the E string. Release, and then coming down that blues scale again. So any kind of lick around on that last section around that blues scale shape is going to fit great. So so the notes you can play about with 17-20 on D, 17-20 on G, 17-19, 17-19, then 17-20 and 17-20. Okay, so that's the end of the first solo. The outro solo, I'm starting around the A blues scale in the 17th position. So I'm bending on 19 on the G string, bending a D. Then playing A and E on 17 and 17. Back to that D on 19. Back C on 17, same string. Back to the D. And then just play that 4 times and sort of sliding down at the end. Okay, and then we're finishing with... So just playing an A, G, A, kind of following the chords there. 7, 5, 7 on D, 7 again, hammering to 7 on the G string, a D to a C, and moving it up, and playing around these 3 notes, G, A, so A, G and A, then bend, slight push on that C, then, or just whatever works, just kind of these 3 notes going up the neck. So you've got 13, that's C, and again around there, and then again to do it as a bend, or just another A and G and A, then going up to where we started, the blues scale in 17. And just bending up all the way on 20, that G to an A, and just playing around this blues scale to finish, kind of just improvising around the blues scale we played earlier. So just coming down the scale, and then kind of finishing with a like we did earlier, that bend but an octave up, bending that D to an E on 19 and hitting the G on 20. Then those double stops again, just like we did down there. Now on 17 and 17 on the G and B strings. Oops. 19 on D and A. 19 and 19 on G and B, D and F sharp. Then just hanging on that C and E on 17 and 17. So you've got kind of keep that going. And just finishing with A, G, A. Okay, so as I say, don't try and stick too precisely. I didn't, but just have a lot of fun learning those shapes around the neck and enjoying a bit of a solo. Next we'll take a look at the bass. On the bass, I'm just starting on the intro with an open A, and then when the guitar goes to the C and the G over B chord, just playing a C to a B there on 3 and 2 on the A string, and then classic AC/DC, just keeping it simple. When the beat kicks in, just playing straight 8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4, 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And just throwing that C to B to A in 1 and 2 and 3 Okay, and then just before we go into the verse, when we're doing this G to D chords, which also coming on the chorus, just got this little fill. Those notes again. It's just so we hit the G by going D, E, G, G. So 5, 7, 5 on the A and D strings, back to 7 and 5 on A. Up. Yeah, and then does C, B again. Okay, and that takes us into the verse. So we've got on the verses, I'm playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so you shift to the D. So you shift to D on the and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you're not shifting on the first beat of the bar, you're shifting, just preempting it there. Then playing the 3 and 4 as the C and B. So we're playing that on the verse, and then we're going to the go to the D chord, pre-chorus, and I'm simply playing. Just D, C, and G, 5, 3, and 3. Then going to the E. So just moving that up 2 frets, 7, 5, and 5, and then open E. Then a G on the half bar, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 at G there. And then back into the chorus over that A note. 2, 3. You know, just that open A, and then just what we played before. And then the only other bit really is we've got the guitar solo. Just playing A, G, A, open, 3, open, then C to D, 3 to 5. And then it goes back into the kind of pre-chorus section, D. Then just like the pre-chorus before, and there's a little bit on the last part of the song, just before the outro, where it goes from an A to a C to D. Okay, just that. Just a standard chorus all the way through. Then does a couple of A, C to D. So instead of that, you're going up. So you can see that on the playthrough there, and then we ended on, and then just ended on those guitar solo bits. C, D, A, G, A to finish. All right, great fun tune, and as always, thanks for watching, buddies. Cheers.